Hello and welcome to Danny's Garage. Today I'm going to present you a Poljot on the channel. It's a deluxe automatic model. As it's the first time I present you a Poljot on the channel, let's start with a little bit of history. So Poljot were introduced in early 60s in the first Moscow watch factory. It's actually the same factory that were producing other brands such as Moskva, Kirovsky, Pobeda, Rodina, Spodvini, Sturmansky and much more. And in 1964 there were a consolidation of the production into a single brand, Poljot, meaning in Russian flight. And it was also the name that was given to the factory from 1964. In early 70s, the factory was producing over 2,700,000 watches per year. And during this year, almost 70% of the production were to export market in 63 different countries. So for these countries, the Poljot factory were producing some high-end models and they were branding them deluxe. But deluxe was also found in watches in USSR at the time. So actually there were two different deluxe and two different movements. You had, like today's video, an automatic version, so branded deluxe, and there were also a manual version. So this one, so the mechanical one has 23 joules and the automatic one 29 joules. So the watch I present you today was restored early this year, and in the process, unfortunately, the dial has been changed and also the crown. The rest seems quite original. And the dial that was put in was a reproduction of the model 813 and 324. The only problem I have with that is that this model should have a date, and here it's not the model with a date, so the dial not really correspond to the watch. But between you and me, I prefer to have a watch like that it's not restored 100% to its original condition, than to have a brand new watch inspired by an older model, because the case would not be as thin as this one, it would not be as elegant, and there would not be the same cachet that you can find in an older watch. Let's have a closer look at the case. So most of the Poljot from the 70s and end of the 60s had a gold-plated case with some exception, and same for the dial. They were either white like this one, or let's say silver or light beige like this one, with again some exception. You can have a black one, but it's not very common. And as Poljot were high-end watches, the indices or numeral were most of the time, again for the deluxe, applied, like we can see in this one, and same for the other version. So the case diameter of this one is 34 millimeters, and if I add the crown, it goes to 36 millimeters. What is interesting is that it has drilled lugs, so it's easier to change the strap. The lug-to-lug distance is 41. The straps are 18 millimeters, and the thickness is 9 millimeters. And with this crocodile strap. It weighs 36 grams, so it's a really light watch. The case back is in two parts, and it's written steel back, water protect, shockproof and automatic. So it's a little bit funny because it's not written stainless steel, but steel back only. And also I like the fact that it's not written water resist or water proof. It's written here water protect, which is not very common, I would say. If I zoom here to the maximum, we can see that it's written just here 20 AU for 20 microns of gold, and we can see that in some parts the gold is gone, like here, but overall I would say that the case is still in very good condition. Let's open up the watch. So we have first this metallic ring, and the back should come, yeah. Okay, and there is a metallic ring also joined. It's very delicate, and I'm not sure it's metallic. No, it looks like a plastic joint, but it's very delicate and it's already very old. So this is the movement. Let's zoom on it. So this is la pièce de résistance de la montre, of course. It's known as the orbita movement, and it has the reference 2415, so with 29 joules. Back in '62, when it was introduced, it was really an innovative movement. In '62, it was the world's finest full rotor automatic winding watch movement. So it was not a Swiss one, it was a Soviet one. And it was made in a relatively small number and used for deluxe range only. So the 1415 had no date, and you have the 2416 with a date, so same model but with a date. And for more detail, I will let a link to the description to the REN FFT watch site. There is a lot of information on this movement, which has 18,000 beats per hour and a power reserve of 36 hours. And let's see what we see. So we see the rotor, which is a little bit decorated, and we have just a reference number and nothing else on the watch. Let's just hear for a while at the rotor. It's quite satisfactory noise. It's quite low. It's not disruptive at all. Actually, I'm a great fan of Poljot Deluxe model, the automatic one, but also the mechanical one, which is a little bit larger and much thinner than this one. I like in the automatic the caliber 2415 or 2416, sorry. I agree that it's one of the best mechanical movement, together with this one, which is the Vostok Precision, which was a competition at the time from Vostok. The overall design was top-notch for its day, and many current movement and watches like actually the elegance and innovation of this watch. I think the Poljot Deluxe had nothing to fear against a Swiss competition from the late 60s or early 70s, especially when you start to look on top of the watch itself. And if you like this type of content, please put a thumbs up. It's absolutely free, it takes just 2 seconds, and it helps really the channel to grow. And also don't forget to register for more reviews like this one.